prayer you whispered in the middle of the night, every silent cry of your heart, God has heard them all. And now He is writing a new chapter. This is the moment to let go of fear, to release the weight of regret, to step boldly into the story God is inviting you to live. He is about to bring reconciliation where there has been brokenness. He is about to bring provision where there has been lack. He is about to bring joy where there has been sorrow, hope where there has been despair, and victory where there has been defeat. But you must believe. You must trust Him. You must surrender your own understanding and step into the hands of the One who holds the universe and your life together. I want you to hear this truth. God is not a distant observer of your life. He is intimately involved, carefully orchestrating circumstances, sending people into your path, and opening doors you didn't even know existed. But the key is faith. Even when you don't see it, even when it seems impossible, even when your heart is heavy, faith whispers, this is not the end. God is about to change your story. And so tonight, I invite you to believe. I invite you to raise your hands, lift your heart, and say yes to the God who specializes in miracles. Say yes to the God who can turn your pain into purpose, your struggles into strength, and your setbacks into a testimony of glory. This is your moment. This is your time. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop God from rewriting the story of your life. Don't wait another day in despair. Don't settle for a narrative of disappointment. Look up, reach out, and embrace the God who is already at work behind the scenes. Your story is about to change. And when it does, you will look back and marvel at how every trial, every heartbreak, and every tear led you to this miraculous turning point. God is faithful. God is mighty. And God is about to change your story. I want you to hear me tonight with every fiber of your heart, because this is a truth that can change everything. Your past does not define you. Yes, I know the past can feel heavy. I know the mistakes you've made, the words you've said in anger, the opportunities you've let slip away, and the pain that has pierced your heart. All of it feels like it follows you, like a shadow you cannot escape. Maybe you've walked through seasons of regret, wondering if you will ever be forgiven, if you will ever be enough. Maybe you have been haunted by memories that make you feel ashamed, that make you feel broken. But I am here tonight to remind you, with every ounce of my being, that God does not see you as the sum of your failures. He does not define you by your yesterday. The God who created the universe, the God who hung the stars in the sky and gave breath to every living thing, is not limited by your past. He is not held back by your mistakes. And He is not discouraged by your failures. In fact, it is often in the midst of our weakness, in the middle of our brokenness, that His power is most evident. Think about the stories in Scripture. Think about the man who denied his Lord 3 times, yet later became a pillar of faith. Think about the woman who was cast aside, who was judged and overlooked. Yet God used her for something greater than she could have imagined. Your story, too, is not finished. What the world sees as the end is only the beginning in the hands of a loving, compassionate God. I know it is not easy to let go of the past. I know that when you look back, you see failures, you see regrets, you see pain. But I want you to see what God sees: a heart that is alive, a soul that is precious, and a life that is capable of miracles. Every tear you have shed, every silent prayer whispered in the dark, every moment of longing for something better, God has seen it all. He has counted them, He has treasured them, and He is ready to redeem them. He is ready to take what has been broken and make it beautiful, to take what has been lost and restore it, to take what has been wounded and heal it. And tonight, I want you to know that it does not matter how far you have fallen. It does not matter how many times you have stumbled. God's grace is bigger than your past. God's mercy is wider than your mistakes. If you will only open your heart, if you will only turn to Him, He will write a new story for you, one filled with hope, one filled with joy, one filled with His love. The past may have shaped you, but it will not define you. The past may have tried to hold you back, but tonight, God is saying to you, rise up. I am making all things new. Your story is not over. I am not finished with you yet. I want you to hear me carefully tonight, because this is a truth that can lift your heart and restore your hope. Delay is not denial. I know that many of you have been waiting. You have prayed, you have asked, you have sought and hoped, and perhaps even cried out in desperation. And yet the answer has not come. Maybe you have watched doors close, opportunities vanish, and circumstances remain unchanged. You may have begun to wonder, does God even hear me? Am I forgotten? Have I been abandoned? But I am here to declare tonight, with all the power of heaven behind me, that God has not forgotten you. He is not ignoring you. The delay you are experiencing is not a rejection. It is preparation. Sometimes God waits, not because He doesn't care, but because He is orchestrating a plan that is far greater than you can imagine. He is working behind the scenes, setting the stage, aligning the circumstances, and moving the pieces in a way that only He can see. The things that feel like setbacks are actually setups. The doors that seem closed are doors that He will open at exactly the right time. And the waiting, as painful as it may be, is refining you. It is strengthening your faith. It is shaping your character. It is teaching you patience, humility, and reliance on Him, rather than on your own understanding. I know that the waiting is hard. I know that it tempts you to despair, to doubt, to give up. I know that you have seen others around you receive blessings, opportunities, or answers, and it makes your heart ache. But God is not late. He is never late. He is always on time. What the enemy meant to discourage you, what the world interprets as a delay, is actually a divine pause, a moment where God is preparing the miracle, where He is aligning the stars, where He is ensuring that when your answer comes, it will be perfect. So do not give up. Do not lose heart. Do not allow the weight of waiting to crush your spirit. Instead, hold fast to the promises of God. Trust in His timing, not your own. Keep praying, keep believing, keep hoping. The delay is not denial. It is the evidence of a God who is meticulous, a God who cares deeply, a God who will move in your life at precisely the right moment. And when that moment comes, you will see the wisdom awaiting. You will marvel at how every pause, Every setback, every long night of waiting was necessary to bring you to the place of triumph, joy, and abundance that God intended from the very beginning. Tonight, I want you to hold onto that truth. Let it sink deep into your soul. God is not done. God is not distant. God is working. Your delay is not denial. It is preparation for a miracle. And your breakthrough is coming. I want you to hear me tonight with every fiber of your being, because this is a truth that can ignite your heart and set your life on fire. Faith unlocks God's power. Faith is not merely believing in God from a distance. Faith is reaching out even when you cannot see, even when the path is unclear, even when every circumstance screams that hope is gone. Faith is saying, Lord, I do not understand, but I trust you. I do not see the way, but I will step forward anyway. And I want you to know tonight that faith is the key that opens the door to miracles, to breakthroughs, to the impossible becoming possible. I know that many of you are tired. You've tried to carry your burdens on your own. You've tried to solve problems with your own strength. And perhaps that is why you have struggled so long. But there is a power far greater than human effort, a power that can transform your life in an instant, a power that is waiting to move in your circumstances, but it is unlocked only through faith. The moment you step forward in trust, the moment you surrender control, the moment you say, God, I believe you are working, even when I cannot see it, that is the moment His power begins to flow. Faith is not a feeling, faith is a choice. It is a decision to stand firm in God's promises, to believe in His goodness, to cling to His word, even when the night is long and the heart is weary. And let me tell you tonight, the Bible is full of stories of ordinary people who trusted God and saw extraordinary results. Abraham, who left his home and wandered into the unknown. Moses, who faced the impossible task of leading a nation. David, who faced giants with nothing but a sling and a stone. These were people just like you and me, yet their faith unlocked God's power in ways that changed history. And the same power is available to you today. Do not let doubt, fear, or impatience close the door to God's work in your life. Do not let the whispers of the enemy convince you that your prayers are unheard, that your situation is hopeless, or that God is too busy for you. Faith is a declaration that God is bigger than your problems, stronger than your enemies, wiser than your fears, and more compassionate than your heart can comprehend. When you walk by faith, you align yourself with His power. When you walk by faith, mountains move, storms calm, chains break, and lives are transformed. I want you tonight to make that choice. Lift your hands, lift your heart, and declare with me, I will trust you, Lord, even when I do not see. I will believe your promises, even when the road is hard. I will step forward in faith, knowing that your power is greater than my circumstances. This is the moment when heaven meets earth, when God's miraculous power begins to work in ways you never imagined. When your story starts to change, not because of what you can do, but because of what God can do through your faith. Faith unlocks God's power, and it is time for that power to touch your life tonight. I want you to hear me tonight, because this is a truth that can change the way you see your life. Every struggle, has a divine purpose. I know that life has been hard for many of you. You have walked through storms that seemed unending, battles that drained your strength, and trials that tested your very soul. You have asked yourself, why me? Why now? Why this pain? And in those moments of doubt and despair, it is easy to feel forgotten, to feel abandoned, to feel as if God does not care. But I am here tonight to tell you that every struggle you face, every hardship, every sorrow is not wasted. It is not meaningless. It is part of a plan far greater than you can understand. God does not allow suffering to crush you without reason. He does not watch you stumble and fall without purpose. Each trial, each difficulty is shaping you, refining you, preparing you for something greater. It is in the fires of struggle that faith is strengthened, that character is built, and that resilience is formed. The pain you experience is not the end of your story. It is the preparation for a chapter filled with triumph, with hope, with victory that could never exist without the struggle that preceded it. The very things that feel like setbacks are often the very things God uses to position you for blessing. I know it hurts. I know it feels unfair. I know that some of you have carried burdens that seem too heavy to bear. You have prayed and hoped and asked for relief, and it has not come in the timing you desired. But let me remind you tonight, the God who made the mountains, the oceans, and the stars in the heavens is working behind the scenes in your life. He sees the tears you shed, the nights you spend in loneliness, the weight of despair pressing upon your heart. And He is using every one of those moments to shape you, to strengthen you, and to prepare you for His glory. Remember the stories of those who came before us. Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, forgotten in prison, yet God used every hardship to place him in a position to save nations. Paul endured beatings, shipwrecks, and imprisonment, yet every struggle became a testimony of God's power. And your story is no different. Your struggles, your trials, your hardships are not mistakes. They are divine preparation, carefully crafted by a loving God who has a purpose for your life that is far beyond what you can see. So tonight, I want you to lift your eyes beyond the pain, beyond the confusion, beyond the fear. Look to the God who is faithful, who is mighty, who turns sorrow into joy, weakness into strength, and suffering into triumph. Every struggle you face has a divine purpose, and God is using it to write a story of hope, a story of victory, a story that will shine as a testimony of His love, power, and faithfulness. Trust Him in the struggle, for He is shaping you into the person He created you to be, and the best is yet to come. I want you to hear me tonight, because this is a truth that can lift the heaviest weight from your soul. God sees and hears you. I know there are times when life feels unbearably lonely, when it seems that no one understands, when the voices around you are silent or even condemning. You have faced heartbreak, disappointment, and betrayal, and you may feel that your cries go unnoticed. You may feel invisible to the world and perhaps even invisible to God. But I am here tonight to declare to you, with all the certainty I can summon, that nothing is hidden from Him. Every tear you have shed, every prayer you have whispered, every longing of your heart He sees. He hears, He knows. Do not doubt for a single moment that the God who created the heavens and the earth, the one who hung the stars in the sky and calls each of them by name, has also known your struggles and has walked with you through every storm. He has heard your prayers spoken aloud and those whispered in the silence of the night. He knows the depths of your sorrow, the intensity of your fear, and the fullness of your longing. And I want you to understand tonight that God is not distant or indifferent. He is intimately involved in every detail of your life. He is not just observing from afar. He is moving, working, and orchestrating in ways you cannot yet see. You see, God's eyes are never closed and His ears never deaf. He watches over you with compassion and love. He hears the cries of the brokenhearted and the sighs of the weary. The moments when you feel forgotten, abandoned, or ignored are the very moments God is closest to you. He does not promise to remove every trial from your path immediately, but He promises that He is present, that He is listening, and that He is acting on your behalf. No prayer goes unanswered. No plea is lost. No tear is wasted. Think about the times in Scripture when God revealed Himself to His people. He spoke to Moses in the wilderness, guided Joseph through betrayal and imprisonment, and comforted the psalmist in the depths of despair. The God who sees and hears them sees and hears you. And tonight, He wants you to know that your life matters to Him. Your pain matters to Him. Your dreams, your struggles, your heart aches, and your hopes all matter to Him. You are never invisible to God, and your cries are never ignored. So tonight, lift your eyes, lift your heart, and believe that God sees you and hears you. Even when the world is silent, even when the night is long, even when the weight of your burdens seems unbearable, God is watching, listening, and working. And the God who sees and hears you is the same God who will bring breakthrough, restoration, and miracles into your life. You are never alone. You are never forgotten. You are never unheard. God sees and hears you, and He is moving in your story, even when you cannot yet see it with your own eyes. I want you to hear me tonight, because this is a truth that can set your soul on fire. Surrender leads to transformation. I know that many of you have tried to control your life, to fix your problems with your own strength, to solve every struggle on your own. You have wrestled with fear, battled doubt, and carried burdens that are far too heavy for human shoulders. And yet, in your striving, in your trying, in your doing everything you could, something has been missing. There is a power of freedom and a transformation that cannot be earned through effort, cannot be achieved through struggle alone. It comes only when you surrender, when you let go, when you release control, when you lay your life fully in the hands of God. That is when true transformation begins. Surrender is not weakness. It is not giving up. It is not defeat. It is the bravest act of faith a person can take. It is saying, Lord, I cannot do this on my own, but I trust you. I do not understand, but I will obey. I do not know the way, but I will follow. And I want you to know tonight that the moment you surrender, the moment you truly let go of fear, pride, and doubt, God steps in. He steps in with power, with grace, with mercy, and with a love that is beyond anything you could imagine. Surrender opens the door for God to work in ways that your mind cannot comprehend and your heart cannot anticipate. It is the key that unlocks miracles, healing, restoration, and new beginnings. I know that surrender is hard. I know that it feels vulnerable, that it feels like giving up control of everything you have worked for, everything you hoped for, everything you feared losing. But I want you to understand tonight that holding on tightly to your own understanding only keeps you from the life God has for you. Transformation comes when you trust Him more than you trust your own strength. When you place your past, your present, and your future in His hands, and when you allow Him to take what is broken and make it beautiful. Look at the lives of those who surrendered to God and saw incredible change. Think of Peter, who denied his Lord, yet returned to become a foundation of faith. Think of Paul, who once persecuted the church, yet became one of its greatest apostles. Think of countless lives throughout history that were transformed because ordinary men and women chose surrender over control, obedience over pride, trust over fear. Your life, too, can be transformed in the same way. God is waiting for you to say yes, waiting for you to release control, waiting for you to trust Him fully. Tonight, I invite you to surrender. Lay down your fears, lay down your burdens, lay down your need to control the outcome. Lift your heart to God and say, Lord, I give you everything. I trust you. Transform me. The moment you do, you will begin to experience a change so profound, so powerful, that your life will never be the same. Surrender is the doorway to transformation, and God is ready to lead you through it tonight. I want you to hear me tonight, because this is a truth that can lift the weight from your heart and fill your soul with courage. A new chapter of hope is coming. I know that many of you have walked through seasons of disappointment, of heartbreak, of pain so deep that it seemed nothing could ever make it right. You have looked at your life and wondered if the darkness would ever end, if joy would ever return, if the promises of God could ever become real for you. But I am here tonight to declare to you with every ounce of my being that God is not finished with you. He is writing a new chapter in your life, a chapter filled with hope, a chapter filled with restoration, a chapter that will surpass everything you have dreamed, prayed, or imagined. I know that the past has tried to hold you back. I know that failures, mistakes, and lost opportunities have whispered lies to your soul, telling you that it is too late, that it is too hard, that you are not worthy. But I want you to understand tonight that God's plan is bigger than the setbacks, stronger than the pain, and more powerful than anything you have endured. What has been broken, He will restore. What has been lost, He will return. What has been torn apart, He will mend. He is already at work behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail, aligning circumstances, and opening doors you never even knew existed. A new chapter of hope is coming, and it will bring joy where there has been sorrow, peace where there has been turmoil, and victory where there has been defeat. The tears you have cried will not be wasted. The prayers you have whispered in the darkness will not go unheard. God sees you. God hears you. And God is moving in ways that are beyond human comprehension. This is the moment to lift your eyes beyond the circumstances, to lift your heart above fear, and to fix your gaze on the God who is faithful and true. I know it is tempting to look back and focus on what has gone wrong, to linger in regret or doubt. But tonight, I urge you to look forward. The story is not over. The best is yet to come. Your setbacks are becoming setups. Your struggles are being transformed into strength. Your pain is being turned into purpose. And when you step into this new chapter, you will see how every trial, every tear, every moment of waiting was necessary to bring you to the place of blessing and triumph that God has prepared for you. So lift your heart tonight. Open your hands and open your spirit. Receive the hope that God is sending. Believe in His promises. Trust in His timing. Walk forward with courage, knowing that the story of your life is not defined by yesterday, nor limited by today, but written by a God who specializes in miracles, restoration, and new beginnings. A new chapter of hope is coming, and it will be more beautiful than you can imagine, more powerful than you can comprehend, and more real than you have dared to believe. God is faithful, and your breakthrough is here. And now, my friends, I want you to hear this with the deepest part of your heart. God is not finished with you. Your story is not over. All the pain you have endured, all the tears you have shed, all the nights you felt alone and forgotten, they are not the end. They are simply the prelude to a miracle, the introduction to a new chapter, a preparation for a life filled with hope, joy, and purpose. God is about to turn your sorrow into strength, your struggles into testimonies, and your setbacks into setups for victory. Tonight, He is inviting you to believe, to trust, and to step boldly into the plan He has for your life. Let go of fear. Release the weight of regret. Open your heart fully to His power, His love, and His mercy. What the enemy intended for harm, God will use for good. What has been broken, He will restore. What seems impossible to you is already possible for Him. So rise up with courage. Embrace His promises. Walk forward in faith. Your story is about to change, and when it does, the world will see the glory of God shine through your life. He is faithful. He is mighty, and He is working all things for your good.